We think about the security of the environment to have controls and preventions in place in order to keep attackers out. And as good as those preventative controls can be at helping to mitigate some of those risks, they don't ultimately help us solve the problem of being able to respond quickly and efficiently and effectively. We need to be able to investigate, analyze, and understand them in order to be able to respond effectively and ultimately mitigate that risk to the business. Hey Justin, who are you and what do you do? My name is Justin Lachesky. I'm the director for cyber resilience at Redis. Redis is primarily an in-memory database company, but really all about getting your data to you fast. And so working traditionally in caches, but also in the AI space, really pushing the speed of modern applications. And cyber resilience for Redis is really our ability to be able to withstand the constant pressure of today's cyber threat landscape. As a cloud-first company and a cloud-native company, that means being able to defend our cloud infrastructure, being able to defend our assets and resources. The challenge that we were facing when we were considering Mitiga was really two parts. One was our confidence and comfort in our preparation in terms of being ready to respond to cyber threats or responding to incidents. And then that directly fed into the second challenge we were facing, which was our confidence in our ability to respond quickly. And it might seem kind of cliche because Redis's brand is really built around speed and being fast, but for incident response, being fast and speed is one of the last advantages that defenders have. And what we've seen time and time again is that the difference between a near miss, a minor event, and a catastrophe can ultimately come down to how quickly can we identify a threat, how quickly can we understand a threat, and how quickly can we respond to that threat in order to mitigate that impact. How did Mitiga solve these challenges? It's one thing to be able to identify or detect a threat, but it's an entirely different thing to be able to analyze and understand and investigate it. And what we found was detecting it isn't enough. We really had to be able to do that investigation as well. Mitiga brings a team of experts that we're able to leverage to help us be better prepared. There are people that are experts in cloud technology and cloud environments, experts in the threat landscape and how it affects cloud, and experts in how to respond to those types of threats. You bring a technology platform, a capability that gives us a way to quantitatively measure our preparation in terms of the data that we have available and whether or not we have what defenders and responders are going to need in order to respond to incidents or security events. And so when you take that expertise and you combine it with that technology platform, it really put us in a position to feel confident and comfortable that we had what we would need when the time came to respond, and that we had the expertise and the support of partners in order to be able to respond quickly and efficiently. So why are preventative controls not enough? I think the prevention tools are critical technologies. We think about resilience in terms of security. How do we keep threat actors out? And I think that's really kind of the sweet spot for those preventative controls, right? How do we make sure things are configured the right way, that we have the right rules and policies and preventions in place to make it a really hard environment for threat actors to target? But that's not enough, right? That's kind of just one side of the equation. And where we see the preventative controls kind of come up short is, well, what happens when an attacker does have success, when they are able to get into an environment? And suddenly we go from how do we keep them out to how do we get them out? So what other outcomes have you achieved using Mitiga? There's some of the obvious things like reducing our mean time to respond, our mean time to contain and remediate. And that's really driven by having that expertise from Mitiga backing us up during response. We're able to more quickly understand an incident. But even above that, one of the outcomes that we found and that we really appreciate is having the backing of a team of expert threat hunters and expert threat hunters in cloud. And it provides obviously like that tangible value of the threat hunting, but it also kind of frees us up some to focus on some of those strategic initiatives, which was something that we valued and saw in talking to the Mitiga team and understood that was a capability. But I think the outcomes and the impact have been even more than what we expected. I think organizations should consider Mitiga because the team that backs the product. Obviously, the technology is great. The ability to quantify that level of preparation, know that the data that you're going to need is available and ready to go. But it's backed by a team that understands what it means to respond to threats, understands the threat landscape and the environment. That ultimately allows an organization to be faster, right? It allows defenders to act more decisively, more quickly, and really kind of bringing both of those things together in order to build that resilient organization and mitigate those threats today, as well as in the future as they continue to evolve and change.